Titans, Patriots. Loved seeing the Patriots slip up against the Fish. To add more storylines to this game, New England opening up at -5. That's where they stand right now at -5. But if you look, it's moved. It was at 4.5 for from the 30th all the way into New Year's Day, and then back up to 5. That's at Pinnacle, the line history at Pinnacle, and that's one of the great parts of this SBR odds page, sportsreview.com, where you can see when the lines moved. 41 Fahrenheit, light rain, 3 miles per hour. I guess you'd almost wish this game was played on Sunday when there's going to be snowy conditions. The rain is quite light here once it gets to 6 o'clock in Foxborough. New England hasn't lost a postseason game at home since 2012. Finished with the NFL's second best unit defensive or offensively in terms of points per game offensively. And we talk so much about their offense looking bad all year. Still 7th best in terms of points per game. The question is, will the Patriots defense be able to shut down A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, and Derrick Henry? And you have to think that maybe not shut down, but certainly slow down. This total opened up at 43.5. It's now at 44 or even 44.5. I know Flash is very interested in the over in this game. Titans, Patriots, Donnie Rightside, take it away.
Yeah, let's start. What a great game here. And I got to tell you, I'm really torn on a couple different avenues in this football game. And the reason being is, yes, Tom Brady has slowed down a lot. I understand it. But you're still dealing with the single best coach of all time. They're at home, and the game is less than a touchdown. So theoretically, if you think New England's going to win the football game, they're probably going to cover the 4.5 or 5 at that point. And that's the thing you want to play with. But also, if this game, let's just say they did flip it over, and forget about what the weather's supposed to be on Sunday or even Saturday. If this game was played at about 40 to 45 degrees, not much wind, and no rain or any precipitation in the forecast, I would love the other team going in to dust off the Patriots. But it just seems like they continuously get lucky. Like you play the Dallas Cowboys, one of the best offenses in football, and it's a monsoon rainstorm, freezing cold, and it's, windy, pushing the rain sideways. I think they get a little bit of luck here, but I also don't want to overstep what the Tennessee Titans are doing because, yes, I love what they're doing. Since they put Tannehill in, they are a legitimate offense, but also sometimes you have to temper your expectations. Since that game against Kansas City where a couple squirrely things went their way and a very nice win, a comeback win to beat Kansas City, they beat Jacksonville. They beat the Colts, which were dead on arrival at that point. They beat the Oakland Raiders. They lost to Houston. They lost to New Orleans. And then they dusted off a Houston team playing their second and third string starters that didn't really care about this football team. They're going to get an absolute punch from New England. And how about New England finally playing a role of saying, nobody respects us. Nobody thinks we can win when we just pencil them into the Super Bowl every single year. It's a matter of how healthy they can be on offense. Do I think that New England can win this? Of course I do. They're at home and in the playoffs. Anybody can win in that circumstance. But this is one of those games I do want to wait and see what I can get the absolute conditions at around kickoff, because if the rain is coming down, which it says light rain, maybe it's coming down in buckets. That really favors the New England Patriots game. And they started off just by saying, I'm leaning Patriots here. It's crazy because I'm the quickest one to say, knock this football team out. They're dead on arrival. And every time I look and get a second look, I'm saying, you know what? Don't leave this team for dead yet.
And we don't see anybody coming into the chat right now with Titans on their card. Alex Ramirez says Patriots will roll. Gerald Jones, New England, Tennessee, over, love it. Joe Rich Ramirez liking Patriots first half. That's available at -3, anywhere between -105 and -115, depending on where you shop. Rye Cape says I'm on the Pats. Capper John says definitely on the Pats. Alex Ramirez says Patriots will get it together. Playoff time. Wow. Drew Barrett says Tannehill and Foxborough on Saturday night. Pats will roll them. So nobody coming out saying Titans, Whale Capper, Titans, Patriots.
Yeah, this is a very rare, maybe never again have an opportunity to buy low on the Pats like you do right now. This is a very surprising line that it's not at least 6.5. This was an immediate one. Like you raise your eyebrows when you saw the number go up, and you're like, "Wow, I can't believe I have value on the pass." And then you see it trickle down to 4.5, and all this Titans money came in early, and I was like, "Man, this is a late Christmas gift." I'm all about this, and so I'm sitting with a pretty healthy position here on the Patriots. I think there's still value at the current number. I would go as high as about -5.5 here. I'd still like the fact that you're on the right side of the key number 6. And this all does come down to Tannehill's ability to move the ball through the air. I think the Patriots will give Derrick Henry some opportunity to run and some opportunity to to make plays in the running game, and they're going to focus on shutting down A.J. Brown, which they can do with their dynamic pass defense. Tannehill's kind of most successful passing skill is throwing into, relatively tight windows down the sidelines where it's tough to defend. A.J. Brown is, emerged as a wide receiver one in this league, and it's exciting to watch. But this is probably the worst possible matchup for them. I don't think in any way, shape, or form you can expect the Tannehill to have more than about 150 to 175 yards passing in this game, because there's going to be a lot of opportunities where he drops back to pass in his number one look. There's going to be tight coverage. He's going to hold on to the ball too long. He's going to get sacked. That's kind of his MO. So I think a lot of things in this game play in favor of the Patriots defense dictating. I can't make a play on the under in this one, however, because I can entirely see some garbage time points coming into play here for this total. So I think the right move here is Patriots minus 5.5. Happy to lay those points with the Tom Brady and company at home, and likely their only home playoff game of the whole season.
Whale Capper, right now at Bet365, you can get the Patriots to win the Super Bowl at 12-1. 12-1 to win the AFC at 6.5-1. Do you see any value on Patriots futures?
I really don't. I have both the Chiefs and the Ravens so much higher than them. And the idea, the only path really for the Patriots to get there is they beat the Chiefs and the Texans beat the Ravens. And then the Patriots get to host the AFC title game against the Texans, and Belichick outcoaches Bill O'Brien. Like, that's the only path I can see manifesting a Patriots Super Bowl trip. And even if they get there, I think pretty much every candidate, every NFC contender is better than them. So I don't think that's a super valuable price on the Pats to go the distance. But this particular week, I think you're getting a nice value on them.
RB Fern says, I don't think it's a mistake that Tannehill's success has coincided with Henry leading the league in rushing. Patriots have to stop the run, force Tannehill to win a playoff game. Jeff Billings liking the Titans with the points. First half and first half, so full game and first half, and the Titans team total over, and the full game over. Doug Barnhouse says, don't go against the Pats in the playoffs. Tasha M liking the over with the Patriots. Dan Kelly liking the angle of Vrabel knowing Belichick. Donnie Rightside with this total here that opened up at 43.5. It's at either 44 or 44.5. If you had a free play on the total, would you try to go over it or under it?
It's kind of hard to figure out, but I certainly wouldn't be going under, because I do like what Tannehill can do, can get outside the pocket. They're going to throw the football around. They're going to push the measure, which I think will in turn push New England. But also looking at, I don't know how good Tennessee's defense actually is at this point. Look, this is a really good football team, Tennessee. You don't just make the playoffs in the NFL because you get lucky at certain instances. They're going to come to play, but it also, again, it just comes down to, Jimmy, if the playing conditions are suitable, and we're not having 20 degrees, 15 degrees, 10 degrees. It's going to be, 40 degree in that range. And if it's just a couple drops here and there that are coming down, I think there's going to be the ability to score, because I do believe in Tennessee's offense. But I think right now New England gets such, an uppercut right now. Nobody believes in their offense. I think they can move the football against the Tennessee Titans. I don't think the Tennessee Titans are going to come out and say, let's just really run the football and get away with what we've been doing really well throughout the season. And also, when you look at the game itself coming down to it, who's the best win that Tennessee has had? They got lucky with a victory. They gave up almost 550 yards of offense to the Kansas City Chiefs at home, which they won by 3. Go up and down that. Whenever they stepped up and leveled up in competition, they normally got beat. And now you're going on the road in arguably the toughest place to win in playoff football, and you're expecting them to get an outright win here. That's going to be tough.
Anthony Taglianti says Tennessee's got this. If the Pats can't beat the Dolphins at home to get the second seed, then they won't win, period. Whale Capper, what the hell happened last week against the Fish?
Man, boy, was that a no-show. I did not see that coming. I thought there was potential that the Patriots were going to even cover that number. Didn't end up playing the game, but the result was a shocker. They completely no-showed in that spot. And the Dolphins are a tough team to get up for. Across the league, it was pretty much expected they were the worst team. And so teams kind of looked past them. And they have a very, kind of a weird, chaotic passing attack that you don't necessarily have a plan A for. And it was a mismatch. And obviously Brian Flores deserves a ton of credit for coaching his team up, getting them very prepared for that game and having a solid game plan. It was executed well. And I think to a degree, the Patriots were probably looking forward to their bye week, looking forward to, maybe making a run in the playoffs. And now look here, lo and behold, they got to play on Saturday night against a tough Titans team. It was a bad result for the Pats overall, and just catastrophic for their Super Bowl chances. But I still think that overall the value manifests on them this week at 5.5.
Donnie, Jake Bell says Flores knew Belichick. Dan Kelly says, I like the angle of Vrabel knowing Belichick. What do you think of that angle they're speaking of?
It's a little bit overgrown because I think he had a little bit of a perfect storm. Also, as I said, it was a really nice day, and Fitzpatrick doesn't care about your defense. He's going to say, if you're open, I'm going to give you a chance to make a play. Maybe that doesn't happen this weekend, but just going back to the overall coaches, I don't know how well he knows him here. I mean, I'm sure he would know him a little bit better if this game was in Tennessee as opposed to being in New England, so I don't put that much stock into it here.